Reported tonight.
Bimbo Oloede.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, President Goodluck Jonathan addresses 68th United Nations General Assembly, seeks inclusion of Nigeria in UN Non-Permanent Council seat for 2014. University of Lagos students take to the streets, ask federal government to see immediately to the demands of ASU. INEC National Chairman Atahiru Jega advises political party leaders against volatile utterances. And Kenyan government declares end to shopping mall siege, urges citizens to observe three-day mourning.
On business news tonight, the federal government saves 530 billion naira from inflated contracts.
And on sports news tonight, the quest for the 2014 FIFA World Cup tickets continue. Nigeria's opponents, Ethiopia's Walia Antelopes, intensify preparations for the final round of qualifiers against the Super Eagles.
President Goodluck Jonathan today urged the United Nations to strongly consider Nigeria's candidature for a non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council in 2014. He said this in his address at the 68th UN General Assembly. The president emphasized Nigeria's tough stance against terrorism in Africa. Our foreign affairs correspondent, Amarachi Ubani, reports.
In the midst of crisis,
it was a speech filled with commendation, appreciation and urgency. President Goodluck Jonathan's address at the 68th UN General Assembly began with emphasis on the importance of meeting the Millennium Development Goals by 2015 and how an improvement of democratic institutions will help developing countries achieve it.
2015 is not a destination, but only a milestone to a better, safer, healthier, and more compassionate world. Let us therefore renew our commitment to the processes that will develop the post-MDGs framework. Mr. President, this objective is of particular resonance to us in Africa, where the challenges of poverty, illiteracy, food insecurity, and climate change continue to engage the attention of the political leadership.
He then went on to discuss peace and conflict resolution in Africa, which he said has been made worse by the infiltration of small arms and ammunition, which must be curtailed. He pointed out that Nigeria's commitment to resolving conflicts is driven by a desire for a better world.
Nigeria's commitment to sustainable peace and security propels the country to action along with member states of our sub-regional and continental organizations whenever stability is threatened in our continent. In recent years, Africa has had its share of conflicts, notably in Mali, Guinea-Bissau, Democratic Republic of Congo, Central African Republic, and Somalia. It is noteworthy that African leaders, with the support of the international community, have demonstrated the capacity to work in concert and decisively in pursuit of long-term solutions in the affected states. While a lot more still needs to be done, we are convinced that progress is being made.
He also played up Nigeria's quest for a non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council in 2014, which he said would reflect democratic reforms taking place in the world body.
We believe strongly that the call for democratization worldwide should not be for states only, but also for international organizations such as the United Nations. That is why we call for the democratization of the Security Council. This is desirable for the enthronement of justice, equity, and fairness, and also for the promotion of a sense of inclusiveness and balance in our world. Our support for the United Nations Security Council in its primary responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security has been total and unwavering. We have, in previous membership of the Council, demonstrated both the political will and capacity to engage in key Council responsibilities. Nigeria has therefore decided to seek election for the 2014 to 2015 non-permanent seat of the United Nations Security Council. I am pleased to state that Nigeria has received the endorsement of the Economic Community of West African States and the African Union. We urge this August Assembly to endorse Nigeria's candidature.
The president's address was more Africa-centered, though it took time to condemn the use of chemical and nuclear weapons, which he said are a threat to human existence. He urged collective responsibility in the fight against global terrorism, emphasizing that together the war can be won. Amarachi Ubani, Channels Television News.
The Senate has mandated its committees on national security, intelligence and judiciary to investigate last week's gun battle in Abuja between security agents and suspected members of the Boko Haram sect. 9 people were killed, with no fewer than 12 persons arrested during a raid by a combined team of soldiers and state security service operatives on an uncompleted building in Abuja. Senate President David Mark at plenary asked the committee to conduct the investigative hearing behind closed doors and submit the report within 1 week.
What we want is to get the facts and the details, and then after that we can make meaningful contributions. There are 3 basic issues here. The first is one of terrorism, and we condemn it totally in every way possible. The other is issue of extrajudicial killing. We condemn it totally in every way possible. And the third one is the operational procedure. Now, we don't know what happened. We don't know how it went wrong, but I think that we can only get after we've set a committee up to go and look at it. Anything that we say now is based on speculation and what we hear or what we read on the pages of papers. And I think at this level, we should not be going at that stage. That is not what we want to do. I want to agree with Alain Dume that we must keep sentiment away from it. Let us face the facts. Once we get the facts, we will work based on the facts that are submitted to us.
As part of efforts towards peaceful general elections in 2015, the Independent National Electoral Commission has warned political parties to stop overheating the polity. During the 3rd quarterly meeting with political parties in Abuja, the chairman of the commission, Professor Atahiru Jega, pointed out that the parties must do everything to sanitize the polity and work towards deepening democracy in the country.
In particular, we wish to urge you to do everything possible to sanitize the polity. You must have an enlightened self-interest, because deepening and sustaining our democracy is in the best interest of all politicians and political parties, as it is for all citizens. We must avoid the temptation to throw away the baby with the bathwater. You must stop overheating the polity. You must continue to promote peaceful conduct and civility in political engagements and in electioneering. And you must stop the rising tendency towards thuggery in campaigns and the elections.
The people of Anambra can now start to familiarize themselves with the names of the candidates that will contest the November 16 governorship election, as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, today released the names of 23 governorship candidates for the polls. INEC says it has made use of the court orders and the forms submitted by parties to compile the names on its candidates list. For APGA and PDP, which had issues with its candidates, INEC has published Mr. Nicholas Ukachukwu as the PDP candidate, while Mr. Willie Obiano is for APGA. Mr. Ifeanyi Uba is for the Labour Party, and Mr. Chris Ngige is flag bearer for the APC. INEC says the names on the list are the people permitted to run campaigns for the election. The battle to resolve the PDP candidate had Mr. Tony Nwoye against Senator Andy Uba, but both men didn't make INEC's list. It's the start of a new legal year for judges and members of the bar in Lagos State. And to celebrate this, an integrative forum where discussions on the